And away we go. Alright, let's see what me, Eric, or Risk have sent in our podcast group chat. Whatever goes on in our pipelines. Oh, there's nothing new. Oh, okay then. Well, if there's nothing else that's been sent to us for us to look at and whatnot. With all that being said, let's get right into the news. Violent storm tears through India's most populous state, killing over 100. Oh dear, that's not good. On Wednesday, violent storms pounded India's most populous state of Uttar Pradesh, with rain and hail killing at least 100 people as trees and electric poles collapsed across multiple districts. Heavy destruction swept districts including Paragraj, Bhadohi, Fatehpur, and, and Sonbhadra. I think I said that right. With television images showing trees and billboards uprooted by gusts of wind, sending debris crashing into cars. A shocking video from Bareilly surfaced on social media alleging showing a man identified as Nanhe being swept into the air along with a tin shed in Bamiyana village under Bambora police station. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath directed officials to complete relief and rescue work within 24 hours, while the administration launched operations on a war footing to assist injured persons admitted to hospitals. Storms are common in the northern states during the hot season from March to June, before monsoon rains bring respite. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath instructed district magistrates to remain on the ground supervising relief operations. Firstly, I will say, rest in peace to the 100 Indians who have lost their lives from this very violent storm. And hopefully, whatever these authorities are doing right now in Uttar Pradesh, hopefully people are rescued if they're in danger, and whatever damages had been done within the state gets repaired in just a few months. Yeah, there's nothing else for me to add on to that. I just hope that out of those who are still alive, they are okay and hopefully uninjured. And I do send my condolences to the friends and family, to the 100 Indians who have lost their lives to the violent storm. FIFA announces Super Bowl-style World Cup final halftime show featuring Madonna, Shakira, and BTS. Wait, I feel like I've read this before. Who knows? Actually, yeah, I have read this before. In the last episode. Oh dear. Here we go again. A little problem again on the platform where I'm getting my news. Oh, time for Plan B. Time for Plan B. China exploiting Iran war to gain global advantage, reports warn. A confidential US intelligence report obtained by the Washington Post warns that China is using the war in Iran to expand its military, economic, and diplomatic leverage, while the United States remain heavily tied down in the Middle East. The assessment, prepared recently for Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane, has fueled debate inside the Pentagon as officials weigh the long-term geopolitical costs of the conflict, and whether the war is creating strategic openings for Beijing. The report comes as President Donald Trump meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing, after the conflict previously delayed plans for a summit earlier this year. The report also warns that the scale of US weapons used in Iran is creating growing concerns inside the Pentagon about military readiness in a political future conflict involving Taiwan. According to the assessment, China is closely studying how the US conducts operations in the Middle East, including weapon use, logistics, and battlefield coordination, while also using criticism of the war in public messaging to portray Washington as destabilizing and overly aggressive. Jacob Stokes of the Center for a New American Security told the Post, the conflict gives Beijing an opportunity to cast the United States as an aggressive, unilateralist power in decline. Oh, I'm lost for words. We all knew this was going to happen. The US versus China, once again, who would have thought? A shocker to absolutely no one. Or maybe some people, if they don't know what they're listening or talking about. It was going to happen. This is inevitable. The madness is on the rise in regards to I'm the better superpower than you are. No, I am a better superpower than you are. Or no, 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 no. Clearly, I have the technology to take all of you down. So diddly squats to all of you. I'm not sure who on earth would say such a thing, but there you go. What I would say in regards to whatever's going on in Iran, not saying that the current leadership or the current government is any better. Not saying that the current government is any better than what they had before. I will say it's a start. I'm not supporting whatever operations is going on within Iran. In my opinion, and from my perspective, whatever leadership is going on in Iran, it's not the best. Certainly not. It is at least a couple steps higher than what Iran had before for many, many decades. That I will say. And whatever protest or movement the Iranian people have and they want to achieve is far from over. I know that people of Iran want a significant change within their country. That is what I know. Hopefully, people of Iran are to be given the change that they so want and desire. That I will say. And as for Trump with America and Xi Jinping with China, oh, look, you're both pretty. Get a grip and get on with your work, with your people. Stop asserting your dominance somewhere in the world. We get it. You have big militaries. And you're pretty as well. But what's the point? Bringing in the military to destabilize whatever's going on in the country, only for a backup plan to go on instead. And even if you have achieved whatever you were going in whatever country in the world for whatever reason, once that's achieved, is that it? Are you going to leave? Or are you still going to keep your men and women in said country to do whatever needs to be done that you just came up with in your head just a few minutes ago? I'm just saying. Come on, guys. British hedge fund founder Ode settles sexual assault claims. Good grief. What's up with these claims, man? Just can't catch a break, can't they? Yep, it's taken a while for this thing to load up. I'm just gonna have to search this online on a web browser instead. I can wait. I can be patient waiting for something to load. But not in this case. Not in this case. Okay, finally, it took a lot longer than it did to actually get to find the information on the story. I'm not sure what's going on with ground news today. Very unfortunate. Okay, so UK hedge fund defends itself from sexual assault claims. A British hedge fund defended itself on Friday, June 9th. June 9th? Is this even the right one? Okay, now I finally found information in regards to the headline I just read. Crispin O'Day settles sexual assault claim ahead of trial. Former hedge fund tycoon Crispin O'Day has settled a string of sexual assault allegations brought against him just weeks ahead of a trial that was due next month. O'Day has faced 5 personal injury claims against him, brought by women who accused him of sexual assault, but he has settled 4 of the claims before they were due to be heard at a joint trial in June, according to the Financial Times. The claims included an allegation the former hedge fund manager had raped a woman in the 1990s, sexually harassed and assaulted a receptionist at the beginning of the 2000s, and groped a woman at his Chelsea home in 1998. O'Day has denied any wrongdoing and said allegations that he had raped the women in the 1990s were wholly false. The claims were filed in the city's High Court following the FT reporting a chain of sexual assault allegations in which 20 women had claimed in a 2023 article that O'Day had sexually assaulted them. The women in the personal injury proceedings were also due to be witnesses in a defamation case to be jointly heard, which O'Day brought against the FT for its reporting of his sexual misconduct. However, O'Day dropped the libel case in March, which drew a line under the legal battle. Yep. It's one of those stories again. A guy raped multiple women. Women come forward, and now he's going to be put on trial. Oh wait, no, he hasn't. He's not going to go put on trial. He's actually settled it behind the scenes. No, I'm not saying I'm defending the guy. I'm just sick and tired of hearing stories where women have fallen victims to actions done by men. Not that I'm honestly, not that it will fix everything. If women have been taught or given experience in martial arts or some form of self-defense, I believe that will help with it's not going to prevent the problem as a whole. It will at least give out a warning to men that they should not mess with these women. That's just my take on it. I'm not saying this will fix everything. If women have been given experience in a form of self-defense, that will at least deter men from doing anything horrible to them. Yeah. Now, as for the story in question, again, I'm not defending the guy whatsoever. This is serious. Hopefully, whatever comes out of that case or situation that this man has got himself into, hopefully, he pays the price for his actions, and hopefully he doesn't do it again. He probably will. However, one can hope that the world becomes a better place, giving them heads up for what they are doing is wrong, and they're not going to do it, knowing that, oh, I guess this isn't a good thing. Okay, I won't do that anymore. Unfortunately, that's not always going to be the case. Again, let's see how this goes, and if it happens again, then yeah, I'd say, well, put him behind bars. Throw away the key. Okay, maybe not throw away the key. Keep the key in a very, very secure place, where only a select few guards are given permission to even access it, let alone actually accessing it directly. NASA's Mars Perseverance rover stands new self-portrait from the red planet. I should have known. Okay, I've got to be real here. Round news, get your crap together. Whatever problems you have, I hope just fix it. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. This is unless you're using Amazon Web Services or Cloudflare servers. No, I'm sorry, there's no excuse. If you're using Cloudflare to web services, then you know what? I can't argue with that. I think that's more of an issue for AWS than Cloudflare to actually deal with. Okay, I really can't find anything on NASA Perseverance rover or something. Okay, honestly, I'm not gonna stress myself any further with these technical difficulties, the whatever servers running off, so I'm not sure how to go off with NASA with their Mars rover if I don't know the context of whatever's going on. Maybe there's a reason that I'm not supposed to see information about NASA Mars Perseverance rover. Perhaps I just know too much about space. I'm trying to understand why I'm not supposed to see anything regarding NASA and their Mars rover. Yeah, I've been shut out before from recordings when talking about such issues that if I know too much, I should be unalived. And I hope not. I hope I'm not unalived for saying these things. The answer will come to me eventually. Right now, I'm just, what's the big deal? Why can't I look at the story about the Perseverance Mars rover? Well, in regards to the space and/or NASA in general, there has been information going around, and I'm not talking about social media posts about uh, stations based somewhere in very northern Canada to say that, oh, this is what Mars is like, or maybe someone based in the Sahara Desert saying, oh, what you think is from Mars, when actually it's actually based somewhere in the Sahara Desert, or somewhere in the very north of Canada where temperatures are very, very cold. That's at least what I've heard. And I do hope someday, if it's possible, that we can go to outer space someday. However, uh, the information that's going about right now is giving me doubts, to be honest. I'm not sure if there is a space that we can escape towards. And even if there are planets that's viable for human life, how is anyone supposed to be convinced that we can make life for ourselves on these new planets if the firmament is what's keeping us apart from the life on Earth and the depths of beyond that is outer space? I'm not gonna go down the route that space is fake, that NASA's faking everything to give us the illusion that, oh, we've been to the moon. No, I'm not going down that route. Even if there are information about that is true, who's going to believe such information? Who's going to be convinced that we have not been to the moon? And all of the efforts by the other space agencies of the Soviet Union, the European Union, India, China, and other massive countries, what would all those efforts mean for those space agencies in different countries? When people find out that we couldn't escape the firmament, and we'll never escape the firmament. There is no way to escape the stratosphere that we are encapsulated by. Or if these planets that could sustain life has everything that does have to sustain life. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it again about the platforms I'm trying to reach news stories from. Yeah, I will say whoever's messing with the technologies and stuff, well played. Very well played. You got my attention, and you have really tested my patience as well. Although I haven't lost it, I haven't lost my mind completely. You were close. You were close in breaking me. Whoever is messing with connections with platforms and news sites. I'll give you credit for that. And I'm being honest. I don't think anyone could ever pull something like that off so consistently for a very long time. So for that, I say, hats off to you, my guy. Now, before I end this episode, if the news is not letting me look into whatever, let's see what other activities is going on these days. Maybe on a Discord server for this project that me, Eric, and Shadowminer are working on. So let's see what shenanigans we have been going on. Okay, so as of 14th of May, which is today, as of this recording, a user on the Discord server for this project, one of the small projects that me, Eric, and Shadowminer are working on, has sent a drawing of what seems to be Freddy Fazbear with no arms. I'm not sure how to describe the drawing. I know it's Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy's with no arms, and it's not messy. It's just very simply drawn, and that was sent by a user by the name of FS9I. The real PS Boy 2012 responded to Acid Rain 526, which responded to me saying something that is in response to something that was said by also Acid Rain 526. So it's kind of like a thread, simply. So the thread starts like this: Divine claims to be AI free, yet it's coded by Claude. and then a sad puppy, and a picture of a sad puppy. Ah, very sad. For those who don't know, Divine, spelled Difine, is the closest thing to a relaunched Vine app, which has potential to not just keep itself running for many years to come, like previous Vine reiterations had failed to do. It also has a strong quality of content on the platform, which is pretty good actually. And that's coming from someone that hasn't even looked at Divine yet, so I'm just waiting for my access, if any. So I responded to Acid Rain 526 with a picture of a sad puppy about Divine being coded by Claude. I responded, sometimes things are too good to be true, because they are. And it's true. Things are always too good to be true. Acid Rain 526 responded with, I don't have any more sad puppy images to express my immense disappointment, just know I am. And yeah, Acid Rain certainly is disappointed with Divine. I can't argue with that. Now, someone responded to Acid Rain about Divine being coded by Claude, the real PS Boy 2012, saying, they mean the AI content. There's no AI content. To which Acid Rain 526 responded with, still an app marketed as no AI content shouldn't be coded by AI. And then the real PS Boy 2012 responded with, it doesn't have AI content. Okay. And this isn't private or anything. This is publicly on a general group chat. This is on a general chat of the Byte Community Discord server, one of the few projects that me, Eric, and Shadowminer are working on. And what I would say with Divine is, so long as there is content that is less than 7 seconds long, and they're all fun, and they are just as funny than the OG Vine videos that we saw in the 2010s, then what is there to complain about? Yes, I absolutely understand. AI is becoming quite dominant in most workforces, and AI, as it stands now, can't stress that enough, right now, is not so bright. We us humans can spot out nuances and problems much better than AI say they claim they could. That's for sure. Nonetheless, and I know I've said this many times, and I will make this clear, artificial intelligence is on the rise, and it will continue to rise in its current capabilities and adaptability to whatever tasks it has been bestowed upon it. And yeah, I thought there was something else for me to say on top of that. However, I think that's all there is for me to say on the subject of AI, also the new Divine app, which is doing really well for itself. In fact, even some old Vine content creators have even hopped on the platform, and they also are filming and producing content for the app. So you know it's good if that many big name creators are on the platform. That is saying something. It really is. Question is, as good as it's doing now, how long will Divine last for? In this day and age, in most startups in general, I don't think a lot of new platforms are going to last very long. And if they do, it would come down to various factors such as huge investment funding, very good marketing and promotion, which is giving the platform itself awareness, extensive moderation to ensure that all of the users are following the rules, and finally, the very cherry on top, integration with future technology as well as long-term innovation. That is what really stands out to me and something I'm very passionate about. Then again, that's just me. It's not just enough to be something and have this kind of features or functions that every platform in its nature has. How does the platform stand out? What purpose does it serve to the users? What difference does these features and functions that are supposedly unique make in a positive manner to the users in question? And I have a lot more questions that's worth asking. However, these are just the main important ones in my opinion, which is great to start off with. And yeah, that's all there is to it. Good for Divine, reviving the Vine culture that it once was, and got some big creators on board as well along the way. And as for the project with me, Shadow Miner, and possibly Eric to some extent, it's going to be a long while. It's going to be a long, bumpy road. Yet it will be very rewarding once we achieve the deliverables, the goals, and of course, whatever obstacles comes our way, and we overcome it triumphantly. Aha! And that I guess that's it for the episode.